नन्ही सी एक जान ने अपना बचपन खोया, खौफ की मैली चादर ओढ़ के सोया, बेबस अकेला बेजुबान चुपचाप रोया। अरसों से ये बहते आंसू थम रहे हैं धीरे धीरे, हौले हौले खुल रही आंखें जो अब तक नम रहे हैं धीरे धीरे, हौले हौले। आईने का धुंधला चेहरा खिल रहा है धीरे धीरे, हौले हौले।
Why should we suffer? Why should we pay for someone's desperation? It's like they don't know how we feel, what we feel. The soul-wrenching pain shattering us with every touch. Why should we suffer? Our bruises that you cannot see are not willing to heal as we go through the pain, with our heads dipped low in shame. Why should we suffer for their pleasure as we moan in pain with hands clamped tight on our faces? Why should we suffer as they get paid with the tears we shed, as we get no love or any care, with no helping hands around? Will you be the one to help us? Who will be the one to help us out? Why should we suffer? Why should our dignity be the one to fall? We want a human, not a beast, who would stand for us all, behind us, and fight for us, when thou shalt find you. Why should we suffer? Someone to help us fill the void in which we are engulfed, which is so willingly ready to kill us every day, with so little hope left, still searching for the silver lines along the floating skies. I can feel it. Can you too? That unsettling heaviness, the weight. Wonder when shall beasts become humans again, so that the hard hearts will melt. Of when someone will listen. We don't want to suffer anymore. Why should we suffer? More than 53% of the child population is subjected to sexual abuse, majority of which go unreported. Child abuse in the forms of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse is all prevalent in rural as well as urban India. Neglect of girl child is still rampant in the 21st century Indian society, so much so that Indian statistics point out that nearly 75% of children have been physically abused. Parents, relatives, and person in position of trust and responsibility are the people responsible for abuse. States such as Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, and Delhi rate the highest in child abuse. Of children physically abused in families, in 88.6% of the cases, it was the parent who were the perpetrators. To curb all forms of abuse against children and also to provide a safe and healthy environment, a law was passed by both the houses of Parliament on May 22, 2012. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, (POCSO), was formulated in order to effectively address sexual abuse and sexual exploitation of children. Above all, The Act stipulates that a case of child abuse must be disposed within 1 year from the date of offence is reported. In 2006, the Ministry of Women and Child Development proposed the adoption of the Integrated Child Protection Scheme.
2009 के बाद गवर्नमेंट ने हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट के लिए एक चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी फॉर्म किया। वो कमेटी में वो लोगों ने जो मेंबर अपॉइंट किए उन लोगों को एक कोर्ट जैसी पावर दी है। जस्ट लाइक कोर्ट ऑर्डर दे इशू किए लड़की को आपको संभालने का है, यू कैन नॉट टेक एनी गर्ल डायरेक्टली इन योर आश्रम। तो तब से 2009 से लड़कियाँ गवर्नमेंट के थ्रू आती है, चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी के थ्रू आती है।
Now there are three different types of child abuse cases that we come across. One is physical abuse, the second is sexual abuse, and the third is psychological abuse. Now when I say physical abuse, it's violence, being violent against the child, beating the child up for no rhyme or reason. It's having angry outbursts towards the child. That is the physical abuse that the child may go through. The second is psychological abuse. That is something that is ignored by a lot of parents nowadays. Is neglecting your child's growth, development, paying more attention to your own life and ignoring the child's development. Another one is sexual abuse that we already know about. There can be different forms of sexual abuse. There can be incest, it could be some other form of, even child pornography is considered as sexual abuse towards the child. It could be of different forms wherein the perpetrator is like touching the child or showing his own body parts to the child. So these are the different forms of sexual abuse that a child may go through. We really, as an Indian society, ignore a boy child's security. Okay, now who cares about the boy? He's always, there's no need to protect the boy child. He is like a man. He doesn't need to be protected at all. It's a girl child that needs to be protected. So, and pedophiles don't really understand that it's a guy or a boy or a girl. For them, it is a person to be exploited. It's not an individual based on a sex or anything. The family might notice that the child is very withdrawn, is very angry at most of the times, is very irritable, and might get irritated and just have an outburst at a very small incident. So these are the certain symptoms and signs that we need to observe, wherein you need to go and speak to your child what is the issue behind that. So the major symptom or the sign that we see of abuse is that the child may be withdrawn in the beginning but might start having angry outbursts and emotional outbursts at a later stage. The entire counseling procedure that we go through is first building up the trust, making the child comfortable to express themselves, and once they have expressed themselves, make them understand that they are the victim here, they are not the guilty party. That's the entire counseling procedure that we have. We need to avoid that kind of a scenario wherein the child feels that his life has changed forever. We need to make that child feel that yes, the culprit is being punished, he is outside his environment, he's not going to come back anymore, and he can continue living there his or her life in a normal manner. So that is what the society's role should be when it comes to a child sexual abuse.
लड़की का बाप ने उसके माँ को बहुत सताया था, मारा था, पीटा था। जब वो लड़की का कुछ नोटबुक हम लेते हैं तो देखेगा तो मालूम पड़ेगा उसके बाप का, तो स्कूल में तो नाम बाप का लिखना ही पड़ता है, तो बाप का नेम का स्क्रैच करती है, उसके ऊपर निकालने का कोशिश करती है। इतना गुस्सा उसके बाप के प्रति।
When the child was playing with her Barbie doll and she literally mutilated the entire Barbie doll in front of me in an angry outburst, and when I asked her why did she do it, she said that it is that person who's been exploiting me and disturbing me and touching me in different parts. We make the child understand through a form of a story. It could be a girl's story, it could be a boy's story, and make them realize how the child is being sexually abused and how it can be avoided. So So these kind of things can happen, these kind of stories can be shared and made to understand children of various ages, and the most institutional form or a structural way to educate children and parents is through school or educational institutes. That's one of the most important and significant and a very successful method of educating people about child sexual abuse.
बिखरे टूटे टुकड़े सारे जुड़ रहे हैं धीरे धीरे, हौले हौले बेतुके से सुर वो सारे मिल रहे हैं धीरे धीरे, हौले हौले आईने का धुंधला चेहरा खिल रहा है धीरे धीरे, हौले हौले। नन्ही सी एक जान ने अपना बचपन खोया, खौफ की मैली चादर ओढ़ के सोया, बेबस अकेला बेजुबान चुपचाप रो